Now on Nightside, a Spokane man arrested for pointing a laser at a life flight helicopter while carrying a patient. The growing problem that's threatening pilots.
Record high temperatures today, but the cooling trend kicks off tomorrow. I'll let you know what changes we are tracking for the weekend in your First Alert forecast.
New details in the case of a Spokane County Sheriff Sergeant accused of beating a man who was resting in his car. You're watching 4 News Now, Nightside. And thanks for staying up with us tonight. I'm Kirsten O'Connor. If you saw or smelled smoke around Spokane County today, don't worry, it is not from a wildfire. The smoke is coming from a prescribed burn on the Turnbull Wildlife Refuge in Cheney. Fire officials say prescribed burns are intended to reduce future wildfire risk. A man was arrested for pointing a powerful laser at a life flight helicopter carrying a patient, and again at Spokane County's Air 1 helicopter. Here's a look at that image captured by the Spokane County Sheriff's Office. In it, you see how piercing that green light is from several thousand feet away. These lights can temporarily blind pilots and make it incredibly dangerous to fly. Here's some footage now from King County, where a light was flashed onto a helicopter circling downtown. And just this morning, there were 2 reports of laser beams being shined into commercial airplanes at Spokane's International Airport.
You're talking about hundreds of people on board, 150 maybe on a 737. That's a lot of lives at risk if those pilots can't see and do their job safely.
Sergeant Armstrong, who you just heard from, says this happens thousands of times a year. This year alone, there have been over 9,000 reported incidents involving lasers. Pointing a laser at any aircraft is a felony and can be charged at both the state and federal level with an $11,000 fine per incident. Well, as you heard at the top of the newscast, record-breaking temperatures. It was so warm today, it felt like summer, and we have more 70s in the forecast. Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker joins us now with your First Alert forecast.
Yes, we've been talking so much about the big changes on the way for next week, but we're going to be easing down in temperatures. Here's a look at our high again today. It was 76 degrees in Spokane, handily beating the previous record of 73, 1944, the date on that. Our highs tomorrow will be a little bit cooler, 70 in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, but these readings are still about 15 degrees above average, 72 in Pullman, 78 degrees in Lewiston, and 71 in Ritzville. Here's a look at your Friday planner. More blue skies and sunshine. As we get into the late afternoon and evening, we'll start to see partly cloudy conditions developing, and there are a lot more clouds on the way for your weekend. I will have more on that and tell you about the more dramatic cool days in our forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. Some new documents explain what a Spokane County Sheriff Sergeant says led to him breaking a man's ribs and puncturing his lung. That man was parked in a Spokane Valley park after hours back in August. According to this new report written by Sergeant Clay Hilton the night of the incident, Hilton says the man, Kevin Hinton, was confrontational and had 2 knives in his car. Sergeant Hilton says he feared at one point Kevin Hinton was trying to grab one of those knives while resisting arrest. Sergeant Hilton is on administrative leave while the incident is being investigated. Kevin Hinton is in the process of suing the county. For our previous coverage on this story, you can head to our website, kxoy.com. Well, for the first time, we have a look inside the Spokane County Sheriff's Office Regional Training Center. The Sheriff's Office says the facility in the West Plains will be a new place for law enforcement to learn and practice a variety of emergency situations. With more than 30 years as law enforcement, Deputy Mike Brooks says the simulator is important for the safety of both deputies and the public, and the key to de-escalate the situation is having this type of training facility.
As you know, the new recruits these days, the biggest challenge we're having with them is communication. The new technology, people don't talk verbally to each other, so this is going to be an excellent tool for them to work that out, to get more comfortable talking to people.
Brooks says new recruits have already been using the facility. A 17-year-old Chelan County High School student is now facing charges for threatening to shoot up his school. The sheriff's office says a female student reported the threat to the Kashmir High School principal, saying the suspect threatened to shoot her first before moving on to the rest of the school. The suspect was arrested and booked into the Chelan County Juvenile Justice Center.
Well, time for a look at First Sports. I'm Julian Minnesone. The former Seattle Mariners manager Lou Piniella has a chance to forever be enshrined next to the baseball greats. Piniella is a candidate for the Hall of Fame class of 2024. Sweet Lou, as fans called him, is a three-time World Series champion who managed the Mariners from 1993 to 2002. Piniella led Seattle to 4 postseason appearances, including a historic 116-win season in 2001. He also won Manager of the Year in 2001. Piniella is already a part of the Mariners Hall of Fame, and he will need at least 75% of the votes to be elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame. If inducted, Piniella would become the second Mariners manager to join the Hall of Fame, along with Dick Williams from the late 80s. Live in the studio, Julian Minnesone, 4 News Now Sports.
Thank you, Julian. Federal regulators have approved the expansions of the natural gas pipeline that runs through Washington and Idaho. The project aims to expand the gas transmission Northwest pipeline. The company says the goal is to increase the amount of natural gas it pumps per day to keep up with demand. It plans to modify 3 compressor stations, including one in Kootenai County. Many Western state officials were against that expansion. Governor Jay Inslee releasing a statement saying, in part, quote, the federal government has finally begun making tremendous climate investments under the Inflation Reduction Act. But this decision essentially digs the hole deeper and locks in long-term capital investments that prevent us from reaching our national and state goals. Well, something new could be coming to the old Shopko on the South Hill. That story is next on Nightside.
Just keep your eyes open and I'll do the rest. Is there anything you would like to say to America on this 10/20?
I'm so at a loss for words.
Four News Now on your time with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
This week's Washington Trust Shred location is at the Valley Branch.
Dear Detour, you took us off-road on the gnarliest trails. You asked us to measure up. So yeah, we did. When life slings you mud, sling it right back. Stay strong. Toyota Trucks.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan with roadside assistance. Visit your local Toyota dealer to learn more. Reserve yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
ABC's World News Tonight at 4 News Now, when the local story is national news.
When national stories hit home, watch ABC World News Tonight at 5:30.
And 4 News Now at 6. That's what we mean when we say expect more.
Did you know Idaho high school seniors graduating next spring are eligible for up to $8,000 in grant money for career training and education through Idaho Launch? Funds can be used to cover the cost of apprenticeships, job training, community college, and university programs that lead to in-demand careers. Funds are limited. Apply today. Students choose their own path, and Idaho Launch helps pay for it. Idaho Launch. Support in every direction.
There's nothing worse than politicians who say one thing, then do another. Like Lisa Brown, who said,
people care about crime. They want people who break laws to be held accountable by our law enforcement system. I believe that.
Brown's actual record, she gave our tax dollars to the Bail Project of Spokane, which bails out violent offenders. Brown gave a $50,000 grant to Lataxion, a felon convicted of murder. We can't trust Lisa Brown to keep Spokane safe.
This is going to be a lot of fun.
He's got the stars.
Yeah.
The studs.
I don't remember a time in my life I didn't watch his show.
And the unexpected.
I've always thought of you as Dave Jr. Every hair on my body is standing up right now.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, new weeknights on ABC.
4 News Now is brought to you by Shriners Children's Spokane, the most amazing care anywhere.
Thanks for staying up with Nightside. The American Indian Science and Engineering Society is hosting a conference in Spokane for students wanting to pursue a career in STEM. The conference is held annually, and students from all over the country and Canada attend. It is to help Indigenous students network and see how they fit into these spaces. Students from Lake Roosevelt High School, who are members of the Colville Confederated Tribes, showed up for the event.
Because I'm not used to seeing this many Native people. It shows that even if I don't have all the opportunities as most people, I can still definitely get into it.
Parrish wants to work on planes and pursue mechanical engineering. The conference started today and will end with a ceremonial gathering on Saturday.
I love this time lapse from today, although from a meteorological standpoint, it's pretty dull. I did not even have a cloud passing by over several hours, looking over the Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena and a nice calm sunset. We're going to start to see more clouds in the sky actually starting tomorrow afternoon. There is more sunshine in 70s for tomorrow. Here are 4 things to know about your weather. It's going to stay nice through Saturday, although Saturday is a day of transition. We'll start off with some sunshine and see more and more clouds as the day goes on. Finally, by Sunday, we have a very good chance of some light rain. It's not going to be a heavy rain. And then the cool down continues next week until we're finally going to be looking at below average temperatures, but it's going to be a slow cool down. Here is our satellite and radar right now, and it is absolutely clear across the entire region thanks to this ridge of high pressure. That is going to continue to send warm air our way, but with a few clouds passing tomorrow during that critical late afternoon time frame. I think we'll be cooler tomorrow. The real cool down is going to happen as we get into next week. Here's Saturday afternoon, still dry across the region, but we're starting to see our ridge of high pressure break down as an upper level trough moves in for Sunday. That's what's going to bring a drop in our temperatures and some wetter weather. And if you look to the north, we have more cold air and an additional area of low pressure developing that is going to swoop in from the north for later in the week. Precipitation Sunday, 60% chance, 10 on Monday, and then back up to 40 on Tuesday. And it might not just be rain. There's a time period in here late Tuesday into Wednesday where you could see a little bit of snow mixing in, particularly on the higher benches. And then look at these numbers, 33. That's, of course, Thursday morning. Gardeners, it might be it for you. I'll be back in just a few minutes with your extended forecast for winter that was just released today from the Climate Prediction Center. Kirsten.
Winter. All right. Thank you, Chris. Something new could finally replace the old Shopko on the South Hill. The building has been sitting empty on South Regal Street for years. Pre-development documents from the city of Spokane show it could be a Home Depot. The building would be complete with a gardening center and would cost $20 million. South Hill residents say they're excited to have a Home Depot location closer to home.
It's 5 miles to get down to Home Depot. And the fact that it's so close to Costco means you're fighting with the Costco people for parking area down there. Up here it should be a lot better.
According to engineering firm Lars Anderson and Associates, this has been in the works for 3 to 4 years. In a little over 2 weeks, voters in Kootenai County will decide whether they will pass a $50 million bond. The Open Space and Park Development Bond will preserve areas like the Rathdrum Prairie. The bond will be used to buy these spaces where they will be used to create new bike and walking trail systems, also dog parks and other outdoor spaces. County commissioners say it will only cost $8 a year in taxes per $100,000 of taxable income. But some people living nearby say they want to preserve this area by keeping it as it is.
We shouldn't turn it into parks or dog parks or walkways. That's not what we need. We need to actually preserve it. It's going to cost more money in the long run to maintain those properties.
Well, Crawford, who you just heard from, says he thinks it would be better to spend the money toward keeping the land the same and giving farmers the resources that they need to care for it.
Seattle Police!
Auburn police are searching for these 3 men who tried to break into a home late last night. The homeowner quickly grabbed a gun, and you can hear began firing at them through that door. All 3 of the men ran off as soon as they managed to get the door open. Investigators say no one was injured. We do have a consumer alert for anyone who owns a biometric gun safe. Safes from the brands Fortress, Cabela's, Gettysburg, and Legend Range and Field are being recalled. A programming feature on the biometric safes can allow the safes to open without authorized access. A 12-year-old boy allegedly died from a firearm he was able to obtain from one of these safes. There have been nearly dozens of other reports of the safes being accessed by unpaired fingerprints. So if you have one of these, contact Fortress Safes for instructions on disabling the biometric feature and to get a free replacement. Families are suing social media platform Snapchat, claiming their children died after taking drugs sold by dealers on the app. It's next on Nightside.
Later tonight on Nightline, sextortion. Teen boys lured online by predators pretending to be attractive young girls, then blackmailed. We meet 2 families whose stories ended in tragedy, what advice they have for other kids to stay safe.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Don't need glasses? See us for your contacts and save on your annual supply.
You're feeding it.
I will, I promise. Thanks to our Premier Rewards Visa credit card from ICCU, we earned enough cash back to stock up on puppy supplies.
But we don't have a puppy.
They're very convincing children.
I had a lot of bad days with gout, but that one took the wedding cake. Even with medicine, my uric acid was still too high to stop painful gout buildup. Then a gout specialist told me about Cristexa.
Cristexa is a prescription medicine for adults with gout whose symptoms are not controlled by other gout medicines.
I learned Cristexa quickly starts working to break down gout buildup.
Cristexa is an infused medicine. Serious life-threatening allergic reactions can occur while taking Cristexa. Tell your doctor right away if you have symptoms such as shortness of breath, trouble breathing, dizziness, itching, or swelling of the throat or tongue. Cristexa is not recommended if you have high levels of uric acid without a history of gout. Do not take Cristexa if you have a rare disorder called G6PD deficiency or favism. Before receiving Cristexa, tell your doctor if you have a history of heart problems and all the medicines you take. Cristexa may cause gout flare-ups, allergic reactions, nausea, bruising, sore throat, constipation, chest pain, and vomiting.
I received Cristexa for about 6 months. Now I'm in control, not gout.
Find a doctor who specializes in gout at goutdocnow.com.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Schedule your comprehensive eye exam at shopko.com or bring in your outside prescription.
4 News Now is brought to you by Just Between Friends.
If you're looking for a way to help fire victims in Medical Lake, skilled sawyers are needed this Saturday to help cut down and limb burned trees. This help goes a long way for families who are still recovering. And there are cleanup days on the next 3 Saturdays, so you can plan ahead. You must pre-register online if you want to volunteer. The QR code to sign up is on KXLY.com.
The winter outlook from the Climate Prediction Center was released today. That's part of NOAA. And no surprises here. They are predicting an El Nino winter. In fact, that is a slam dunk. That could mean drought development in the Pacific Northwest. Very strong confidence that it will be warmer than average this winter throughout the Northwest. Drier than average, that is always a little bit more of a wild card during an El Nino year. Of course, El Nino is that warming of the sea surface temperatures in the equatorial Pacific. It disrupts weather patterns worldwide. And there are some common things that happen during an El Nino winter. And one of them is warmer than average temperatures. And this will be for November for December and January, what you see here, the winter forecast goes through February, and it is exactly the same. So warmer than average conditions and a fairly strong confidence that that will be the case. We've had wetter than average. We've had drier than average El Niños. We've had average El Niños. So there is definitely a trend toward drier, but I would not count on that just yet. We're going to take it storm by storm, and I've still got my ski pass ready to go. Maybe I'm wish casting at this point. That is a hazard of the job when you like a certain type of weather, but it is also true that we've had a variety of different precipitation forms during El Nino years. Here is a pick of the night. We have had spectacular colors around the Spokane area and beyond this fall. So lucky. This one is from Vonda Atkins. I love those bright reds and the close-up. Just absolutely spectacular. And I would think you did not get a good fall last fall, Kirsten. Our fall leaves were kind of a dud. I'm hoping that you are enjoying this one especially much.
I'm taking pictures like this. They're not nearly as pretty, but in our parking lot here at KXLY.
Yes, we do have beautiful trees
Don't
here.
We have some magnificent colors?
Yes, and across at the arena too. Yeah, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, what a way to be welcome to work. Well, thank you, Chris. A new Harvard study links eating red meat with the risk of developing type 2 diabetes later in life, a 62% higher risk, according to the results. In the study, people who swapped red meat at a meal for nuts or vegetables had a 30% reduction in risk. Researchers say choosing more plant-based sources of protein might help prevent disease and also be better for the environment. Dozens of families are suing social media platform Snapchat, claiming their children died after taking drugs sold by dealers on the app. More than 60 families have joined this lawsuit that claims features like automatically deleted messages and the My Eyes Only privacy make illegal activities harder to track. 16-year-old Sammy Chapman died after his parents say he overdosed on fentanyl he got from a dealer he allegedly met on the app.
We delivered a lethal dose of fentanyl to our home like a pizza.
Snapchat is the largest open-air drug market we have in the United States, especially when it comes to our kids.
Many of the parents say they're not suing for money. They just want more done to protect kids. Snapchat responding, saying it's, quote, working hard to stop dealers from abusing our platform and to raise awareness about the dangers of fentanyl. A new study shows kids exposed to certain chemicals in utero are more likely to experience lifelong health issues. Scientists in Spain looked at 23 different pesticides and other synthetic chemicals in more than 1,900 pregnant women. And the chemicals are thought to promote obesity by interfering with metabolism and hormones. Kids whose mothers tested higher were more likely to develop obesity, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes before the age of 9. Researchers say expectant moms should stay away from using plastic food containers, non-stick pans, and eating shark and swordfish, known for higher mercury levels. Well, workplace fatigue is common in many industries and can be linked to errors and even injury. People who work the night shift or extended hours can also experience fatigue just because of a lack of sleep. Workplace fatigue hits healthcare, transportation, firefighting, and mining industries the hardest. The CDC says it helps to have workplace resources in different languages, restricted hours, and sleep strategies. There's new advice on how to protect yourself and your family from imposter phone call scams. The Federal Trade Commission says they are now the most commonly reported scams in the U.S., using artificial intelligence to create a voice that sounds like someone you know. Catching a fake in the heat of the moment, though, can be extremely difficult. Cybersecurity experts say to protect yourself, families should create a code word or a code question that only they know to help confirm the caller's identity.
Think about a memory that you both share. I could just say, okay, son, what position do you play in football? And what's he going to say? Even under stress, he knows he doesn't play football. He's going to say, I don't play football. Where a fraudster might say, quarterback.
The second tip, be skeptical. Slow things down long enough to make direct contact with your family member another way. And the third step is if the caller asks for payment in cryptocurrency or gift cards, that's a major red flag. The Seattle Kraken earned their first win of the season, and it did not disappoint. A scoring frenzy in Seattle. Next in sports.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Tony Award-winning musical phenomenon Les Miserables.
Let's get this haunting started. See the most irresistible displays as these families compete.
Let's do this.
To see whose tricks are worth a treat. Oh my God. It's the Great Halloween Fright Fight.
Let's count it down. 3, 2, 1.
The Great Halloween Fright Fight. Sunday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
The most important issue in this mayor's race? Crime and public safety. I'm Nadine Woodward. We cannot let Spokane become Seattle. It's why I increased police patrols, opened new precincts, and got dangerous offenders off the streets with our Violent Crimes Task Force. My opponent? She's helped fund criminals and is supported by anti-police activists. I'm proud to be endorsed by law enforcement. I'm Nadine Woodward, and I approve this message. Let's make crime illegal again.
It was in August. Fires raged through our area. This one, the Gray Fire in Medical Lake. Homes destroyed, trees destroyed along with it. They've got to come down and get moved out for the rebuild. We're here in mid-October to help move them. The 4 News Now Extreme Team, brought to you by and with volunteers from Horizon Credit Union.
The Move Fitness gyms are on the move with a new location opening soon, giving you more reasons to join now and be the best you can be in 2023. Move Fitness.
One of the inland Northwest's most extraordinary four-wheeled beasts, the Honda SUV thrives in a diverse habitat. Comfortable in rugged terrain or roaming city streets, it can travel hundreds of miles on a surprisingly small amount of fuel. Fiercely protective of its young, the Honda SUV is known by its distinctive markings, CRV, Pilot, Passport, and Ridgeline, and can live happily for decades in any garage or driveway. Catch them now at your inland Northwest Honda dealer. Honda can handle it.
Sign up for the 4 News Now playbook at KXLY.com.
Well, Washington State's season is hanging in the balance. Welcome into sports. I'm Julian Minitzel. The Cougars will face their toughest test of the season when they take on number 9 Oregon on the road on Saturday. The Cougars have lost 2 in a row and have played themselves seemingly out of the Pac-12 championship race as of now, and potentially out of a bowl game if things don't get better. Alex Crescenti is here to show us how Washington State can end the losing streak in this week's Chalk Talk.
A 4-2 record isn't bad. There's a lot of teams that would kill to be there right now. But for Washington State, it certainly feels like a missed opportunity to stay in the Pac-12 race. Now, in order for them to avoid a 3-game losing streak and get their season rolling again, they're going to need to rely on their star quarterback to start playing like that again. And even the Oregon Ducks know Cam Ward is capable of just about anything on the field.
We just have to execute. We haven't done that the past 2 weeks. I haven't done that. Me giving the ball to defense, not helping the defense to help them, because we honestly gave them 14 points. So, we have to play complementary football as an offense, and, we haven't been doing that the past 2 weeks.
Like any good leader, Cam Ward is putting a lot of the blame on himself. And these last 2 weeks, he really hasn't been his normal self.
Fumble, interception, penalties.
With opposing defenses starting to adapt to the Cougars' attack, Ward has just less than 400 yards passing, 4 turnovers, and a quarterback rating of 30.1 during that time.
What they're doing is taking away the quick game, and that's a big part of what we do. And then now your different, layers and leveling and all that type of stuff that goes into it. And then it allows kind of the protection maybe to break down a little bit more and get Cam scrambling around.
Now, even with the recent struggles, Oregon players have to respect Cam's game and what he's capable of. And they know he might lead them on a wild goose chase.
This is probably the most annoying quarterback I don't like going against. He drops back 13 yards. It's like backyard football. So the big.
Now, while the Ducks are showing some respect to Washington State, Vegas certainly isn't, as Oregon is sitting at 20-point favorites in this matchup, something no one saw coming just a couple of weeks ago. Julian, send it back over to you.
Thank you, Alex. Now to high school football. Rogers hosting West Valley across the street at One Spokane Stadium. West Valley is a top 5 team in the state in 2A division, but Rogers wasn't hearing any of that. Ethan Turley throws an interception right into the hands of the Pirates. Rogers takes over on offense, and here they are. They hand it off to the man, Gavin Bodeman, bouncing around like a pinball machine into the end zone as Rogers takes a 6-0 lead. West Valley's turn. Turley says, hey, I got some wheels too. Turley rushes for the huge gain and the first down as they get their offense going on the other side. Now, Turley probably wishes he ran this next play, too, instead of passing the ball. A fumble picked up by Aaron Kinsey. That's a touchdown for Rogers as they go on to win this one. Final score, 38-14. Now, it's been a rough start to the season for the Seattle Kraken. Seattle has played 4 games and is still looking for its first win. So it's still early, so no need to hit the panic button just yet. The Kraken were hoping to get in the win column tonight against the Carolina Hurricanes. The home crowd at Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle was hoping to see a win for the first time. First period, Yanni Gourde right in front and deflects it right into the net as the Kraken take the early lead. But Carolina, they're a good team and they would respond off the faceoff. Jesper Fast sneaks behind Seattle goalkeeper Joey Decord for the score, and we're even at 1. Now here are the Kraken later in the period on the power play. Jaden Schwartz, he's going to take advantage. Schwartz gives Seattle a 2-1 lead, but Carolina, they would have a man advantage on a power play later in the period, looking to even the game once again. But the Kraken, well, they don't care about any of that. Pierre-Edouard Bellemare with the shorthanded goal as the Kraken hang on to get their first win of the season. 7-4 is the final here. Next up, the Kraken will host the New York Rangers on Saturday night. And that'll wrap us up for sports.
Download the 4 News Now app today. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
I met Anidas 10 years ago. He didn't have bad credit, but he just had no credit to begin with. I took the time to really go over some options with him. Fast forward 10 years down the road, he's got his business account with Numerica. He's looking to buy his second home also with Numerica.
Thank you for getting groceries, Mika.
Of course. Happy to help. Will Medicare cover any of these bills?
I thought it would, but it doesn't.
We'll get through this. I will always be here for you.
I know. But what about you? I don't ever want you to be in this situation.
Don't worry, Dad. With WA Cares, I'm earning long-term care benefits with each paycheck. That money will be there when I need it.
Find out how the WA Cares Fund can help.
Disney on Ice presents Frozen and Encanto. Celebrate the power of love. Y Familia. Playing this Friday through Sunday at Spokane Arena. Great seats still available. Visit DisneyOnIce.com and get your tickets today.
Every year, the crowds go crazy for the Cal Triple Play of the Day, where you can get tricked-out cool trucks or sporty SUVs just in time for winter. And this week, you can delay all payments until next year. Get a minimum $2,000 trade-in value for your old ride, plus get a 2-year service maintenance program with every vehicle sold, which is a triple play opportunity. This week at both Cal locations.
The name you've trusted for years at a new time. Derek Dice joins Kirsten O'Connor on 4 News Now at 5 and 6 and Nightside, beginning next week.
It's a new season from New York.
Watch Kelly weekdays at 4. See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
Sunny and 70 tomorrow, then a slow cool down. Maybe not that slow, but this time next week, we're going to be in the mid-40s for highs.
I'm going to punch your head in. Look at my dog.
Okay, a martial arts instructor in Australia faced one of his toughest opponents yet. This ripped kangaroo. I've never seen a kangaroo with abs like that, Julian. It's really weird.
I think I've seen him at Planet Fitness, actually.
Oh, he was trying to drown his dog, but I guess he got him out and everybody's okay. They're all laughing about it. I have very few things to say.
It's upsetting.